right now. If you're going to come in late, you're going to come in late. That's the breaks. My name is Mr. Sonderbeck. I am the Career Center Director here at Vista High School. This is all part of Career Week, and we have the U.S. Navy here, and we have Javaria. Is that the Javiria? Okay. So we have him here from the U.S. Navy to talk to you about all sorts of Navy careers. First off, though, he has a quick survey for you guys to take and to fill out. So if you want to go put that one up on the screen now, we can do that real quick. You can just take a shot of it with your phone because it's a QR code.
Do I have share content? There we go. Photos. Where is it? Right there. There it is. Does everyone have that? Everyone see that?
I do not see anything yet.
Do you see it, sir?
Nope.
No?
Nope, it's not coming up for me.
How about,
oh, wait,
how about now?
There it is. Now we're talking. Now we're in business.
It's on now.
Okay.
Yep, we're good.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let me just stop the share. I'm just okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As Mr. Stotterbeck explained, my name is Petty Officer Gaviria. I go by my race. You see on the screen it says FT1. In the Navy, we all go by rates and the rank plus your last name. So if you can't say my name, just say FT1 and I'll respond. You know, or even in the text. Okay. So like I said, I am originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've been in the Navy now 12 years. I am a submarine sailor. If you can't see that, that signifies that I'm a submarine sailor. Let's call our dolphins. It is a warfare device. That's something you have to train to become into. You sit aboard and you get qualified these things. So anyway, so my rate particular is called Fire Control Technician. What does that mean? I'm a technician in combat systems aboard submarines. How can I explain this? I'm not only the operator, I'm the maintainer of said system. These are billion-dollar worth systems that keeps at the forefront when we are doing our jobs out on submarines. You know, I can go way in further into that, but I'll give you just a brief synopsis of that. So I mainly deal with the systems that not only deals with the data and organic sensors aboard submarines like sonar, which is sound navigation and ranging. We also got comms, we got the radar, and all these other systems feed into my system, which helps us manage contacts. And when we keep a situational awareness with the submarine so we don't hit anything, it's also based on offensive purposes too. So I deal with not only torpedoes, but also missiles. So if you ever heard about what happened in not too long ago, you know, back in the Persian Gulf or even just on North Africa, things like that, that's what submarines are doing if they're, you know, have to launch Tomahawk missile. That's just one aspect. The other thing is keeping our border safe, you know, by making sure we have a strong presence out in the sea. So that's a really brief synopsis of what I do. So I like to keep talking is, so the purpose of this is just to explain what not only the Navy has to offer, but just to convince all of you students that just to understand that the Navy is an option. It's not, you don't have to, you're well aware that there's no draft. It's just keep it as an option. That way, if it's whether you want money for school, get a trade, you know, down the road, if you have dependents, you want benefits to take care of them, or even just maybe see the world, we can do those things for you, you know, and all we do is just ask a little bit of your time and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this moment I'm just gonna switch over to share content. I'm just gonna show you what I have for, where is it? Okay, sorry, excuse me. Where is the screen? Where'd it go? Right there. No, that's not it. What happened? Thought I'd be able to see my screen. Okay. Share content. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Sir, do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Yes?
No.
No.
No? Huh.
No.
Strange. Okay. That's strange.
Are you
Huh.
on a laptop right now?
No, I'm on my tablet. I'm looking for where I can be able to see share the screen, and there's no button for that. All right, I'm just gonna have. Let me see here. Drive, Google Drive. No bookmark. Website URL. Strange. Let me. Sorry about this, folks.
Yeah, it's okay. You got the image up earlier of the QR code. Hey, there
Yeah.
it goes.
Well, I had to go to the. See if I can go there. If it's gonna allow me. All right, just give
Yeah,
me just another sec for a second.
I
Where is
see
it?
Navy CRF.
Yep. Let's see here. Rats. Okay. All right. Everyone see this education for life? Sir, do you see this? Okay. All right. So thank you for bearing with me. All right. So the big thing I'm gonna offer for students here is the big thing is which is education. Then for that, we'll talk more about other programs such as the reserves, briefly about nuclear options, nuclear propulsion, and maybe even for those who are student athletes, the Navy Challenge program. So we'll kind of slide through this. Okay. So big thing that if you already don't know about the Navy is the Navy wants, excuse me, maybe it's taking a while to load. Come on. Come on, keep going. There we go. Here we go. So what the Navy wants is we want highly qualified individuals to not only have a trade or career, but to flourish from it. You know, take what you want from the Navy. All they ask is your service. Okay. So with that being said, everything you're going to learn in the Navy can and will be translated into a college credit. So I'll just keep going here a little bit more. So some of the Navy programs, just so we're not going to go kind of here and there, is for those who are in depth in uh, either engineering classes, you know, like higher level math and science. Excuse me, I'm sorry that the website's not going along. Apologies for that. All right. So there's a couple programs here we're talking about. Is you got this is for going into officers, right? We'll go briefly into officers. The big thing about the officers, yeah, you got what's right here is civil engineering. If you're like engineering and you high level math, there's something to think about. Navy is basically gonna, as soon as you apply for it and you get accepted, this is what the Navy will do. It'll pay for your degree, it'll pay for your living expenses while you're at college, and then definitely put you into the civil engineering collegiate program, where at the end you are a civil engineer working for the Navy, building like bases and other support facilities around the world, right? The other one is the nuclear propulsion, right? That's a very big one. That's more very, very lucrative, very rewarding, but also very competitive. Same thing, same option. If you apply for it, pays for your degree, as well as a monthly income. And oh, excuse me. All right. All right. I'd rather just talk about it. I guess this
Yeah, it
is
might be easier.
all right. All right. So as I was saying, that with the nuclear propulsion, with that one, it's very lucrative, right? All these jobs here are going to help you in the future, you know, whether it's, you know, paying for your degrees or getting a skill or just all these benefits that go with it. So as I was going back before the Navy programs that the Navy has not only everything you can learn, it's also a couple programs, what's called US MAP, so United Service Meritorious Apprenticeship Program. So that's a big thing that Navy runs. So we always push it. So everything you learn in the Navy, whether it's doing electrical work, mechanical work, intelligence, or even computer science, everything in between. If you're going to go cook for the Navy, whatever that is, every skill that you learn can be translated into a Department of Defense, the Department of Labor certificate. All right. So that, what does that mean for you? If you do, whether you do 5 years, 10 years, 15 or 20, you log in your hours, log in on the Navy website as you're doing your work. And at the end of said year, 2 years, whatever that's requirement, you will get a certified certificate from the Department of Labor saying you are qualified in this thing. That way it can translate to the civilian sector. That's just for your knowledge, because a lot of former sailors will say, if I didn't do this, I couldn't properly word this in my resume after I left the Navy. That's just an example. The other one would be what's called Navy Cool. All right, so what does that mean? So it's a credentialing online licensing. It's very similar to the MAP, but this is different. This is for those individuals that they're doing their day job, and then on the side with the Navy, they are getting certifications in something completely different. So let's say you are a mechanic for the Navy working on diesel systems, things like that. But on the side, you at home, you happen to learn how to code on your own, and you want to get certified in coding and higher level programming. Well, the Navy says, okay, fine. If you want to do that and get certified, just apply for this cool program. The Navy will pay for that certification test. You pass it, it's yours. You didn't spend one dime, right? Because for those of you who don't know, taking certification exams for whatever the skill you're learning, from coding to welding and like health inspector and things like that, everything in between, that costs money, right? It's not like, oh, $50 for an exam. This is like hundreds to thousands of dollars, right? So that's just for your knowledge. So if you can do this, maybe say, okay, you want to expand your education, especially on your own while you're doing your job with the Navy, they'll say, we're all for it. So let's just take that with you. The other aspect is what's called JST. JST is Joint Service Transcripts. So what that means is, as I said at the very beginning, everything you learn in the Navy from day one of boot camp to your last in the Navy and the training format is can be transferred into a credit for college. And that's very, very lucrative for you. So just for example, in your 2 months at boot camp, you will leave in your JST, your transcript, with 12 credits. 12 credits gained just for 2 months of work, right? A lot. That's all from like history, a little bit of science, some math, even like some sort of gen ed courses. And that'll equate. They'll say, oh, because you learned this at boot camp, it translates to this. And the same goes when you go to your trade schools. You know, when you join the Navy as enlisted, you pick a job that suits you based on your ASVAB score. And once you go to that first school and you're going whether it's a month long to 6 months long or even longer, let's say a year, 2 years, all that can be translated into a certain number of credits. The big one I would like to advertise is the nuclear propulsion. So the nuclear propulsion, that one is a 2-year school, right? This is after boot camp. You will go to the schools in South Carolina and one in New York. It's called, you go into your A school, which is like the basics of anything in nuclear engineering. So math, science, mechanical engineering, things like that, physics. Then from that, once you pass that, then you go to your high level, which is like it's called prototype, where you're actually working with and learning how to operate a nuclear reactor. And there's a bunch of rates that go in between it that teaches you either going to be the mechanic, the technician, or the laboratory technician. I can go further into that. But with that being said, is when you finish all of your 2-year training, you have already accrued 77 credits, all right, certified by the American College of Education, right? That's more than halfway through a degree in any of those fields in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if he's like, hey, I'm already at 77 credits in, get the rest of it while you're working as a nuclear qualified operator. So there's that. That's a really, really good option there. And then yeah, like I said, with the Navy, your schools, there's a multiple schools you'll go to, whether even if it's nothing to do with your jobs per se, there's also schools. If you're interested in law enforcement, everyone here in the Navy is going to be trained in some aspect of law enforcement, or what we call force protection, how to protect the ship, right? So you can go to classes, what's called SRF, security reaction force. You'll be trained a little bit in that, and that equates to the credits that you can take it with you when you leave the Navy, which is like law enforcement agencies love those things. So, and if you get gun qualified, all those gun qualification will help. That's just an example, right? The other aspect, and this is the big one, other than what you already may know about the GI Bill, I'm gonna get to the GI Bill in a second, is called tuition assistance. And the best way to describe that is full-time sailor, part-time student. So what does that mean is you are still doing your everyday job, 9 to 5 job with the Navy, but on your time off, you're eligible to take classes from colleges at a Navy base that's certified in the local area. So let's say right here in San Diego, you go to the Navy base at a building. Every Navy base is called the Navy College, right? At the Navy College, the Navy College reaches out to the local schools in the area. So let's say University of California, San Diego, and California State University, San Marcos, and there's a bunch of them. They hire those professors, those educators. They come in to the naval base, and at the Navy College, you can take courses. It's usually anyone from general education to the higher level courses. It's all based on a schedule. So what you should do is take advantage that we implore all sailors to do this. A lot of them will do this for their lower, the gen ed courses, get them knocked out of the way, and then they'll take the higher level classes later on in the future. Because as you know, you're still working full time with the Navy. So the best, you should be able to take 1 or 2 classes a semester or a quarter, or whatever they use these days. And mind you, all this is done by the Navy. It is a pot of money saved away for this program specifically. None of this is being touched by you. The student will not be using 1 dime of their money. Okay, so take advantage, right? So if you're in for 5 years, chances are you're very, very close to getting a degree. If you're in for more than that, chances are you should be getting a degree, right? And that makes you very, very lucrative, very marketable when you decide to leave the Navy. So win-win, right? The other one is now everyone's favorite, is the GI Bill. So with the GI Bill, as you know, that it's like people's like, oh, it's going to pay for my schooling. Well, yes, and I'll explain how, just a little bit more specific. Right. So the big caveat is you have to be eligible for the GI Bill, you have to perform 90 days of active duty. I was like, well, really? Like that short? Like, yeah, that's it. So what does that mean? So if boot camp is 2 months, that's 60 days. That means the next 30 days, it's up to you, right? Big caveat is don't get in trouble, right? Don't go what we call non-judicial punishment. Don't go to mass. Do anything. As long as you keep your nose clean, do as you're told, and be a modest sailor, you're already eligible within the first 3 months of your service, and it's yours to keep. So, like I said, if you only want to do 1 enlistment, that's fine. It's yours, right? I don't recommend using it while you're in, because, as I said, you're a full-time sailor. It's really hard to do part-time student, especially if you're out to sea and all that stuff. So, we can discuss more of that if you'd like to reach me. The thing is, so with the GI Bill, it does pay for up to $80,000 of the school that you are accepted into. So if you want to stay local, stay local. If you want to go with all your background qualifications, SAT scores, ACT, and references, if you got accepted to a higher level school, I'm assuming, like, for example, let's say on the East Coast, like Yale, Harvard, or here, Berkeley, or anything like that, you can go there. Maybe GI Bill is going to cover it, and you'll get that, what's called the monthly stipend, the living expense. So you got something to live off of, right? So the ball is in your court, but understand that it's yours to lose if you don't fight for it. The next one, okay, so other than education, now comes the officer program. So everyone understands that that to become a naval officer, it's very, very competitive. I believe you can do it, but you have to understand that it's you versus the nation, right? So what does that mean? I mean, as a senior or even just recently graduated from high school, like, unless you have not only stellar grades, but stellar extracurricular activities that make you stand out from the rest, it's very, very difficult. All right. So I would say don't lose heart. Just understand that you got to make yourself really marketable compared to the rest of the nation. However, caveat to that, if you decide to enlist, it is much, much easier to become an officer from the enlisted side, because it's not you versus the nation, it's you versus the Navy. So instead of, you versus, like throwing out a number, 10,000 applicants, it's you versus maybe let's say 100, maybe 500, depending on the year. So odds are in your favor. So if you do well and you're still adamant, I want to go engineering, or I want to go JAG, or I want to go hospital, whatever it might be, there is a program for that. All right. And we can definitely talk about it at a future time. If you want to contact me, let me know. We'll talk all about it. All right. And continuing from that is what we call the Navy Challenge programs. So what does that mean? The Navy Challenge programs is we're talking about the SEALs, the SWICs, EOD, Navy diver, and air rescue swimmer. These are highly, not only just physical, but it's also academic. You need to know a lot, because for these type of jobs, the training is super long. It's just as long, or even if not longer than what we just talked about the nuclear field. So these sailors who applied for it, it's basically like a tryout, right? Like anything, it's best of the best, not only physically, but it's also mental, right? You have to be able to understand you're going to be put through a lot of adversity during your training. It's going to push you to the limit, but the payoff is good. And at the end, right? It's not just the money, it's just the experience, how you be able to not only, help your fellow shipmate, your sailors around the world, but you have the experience. So if you do this and you, after one enlistment, you like it, or you don't, you have this on your table, that makes you that much more lucrative to any of those other recruiters out there for civilian jobs, right? Because the Navy teaches you not only to take care of yourself, but how to take care of others, right? i.e. leadership, right? That's what Navy is training for. Navy teaches you how to be a leader. It's up to you. So with that challenge program, just understand that these information is completely, you don't have to just go to me. You go to the Navy.com websites. There's a bunch of them. Just type in Navy challenge programs. I would love to show it to you, but unfortunately we're having technical difficulties, but keep going from there. Sir, am I think
I still have some time. I had maybe if we can step back for a second. Yep. And discuss a little bit about one of the misconceptions or misnomers is about the types of careers you can get in the Navy or in the military in general. I think a lot of people always think of you're going into a combat role and things like that, where it's really more, there's how many, like 9 people supporting one person who is actually in actual combat. So there's a ton of different careers out there, and maybe you can touch on some of the ones that they just don't discuss very often.
Absolutely, good question. So just to make sure, so we are the Navy, right? We take care of our assets out in the sea, right? There's a very select group that actually does sea combat, right? And those are the ones I just explained, which is of the challenge ones, right? So like the special operators, that's the SEALs, the SWICs, surface warfare combat commander. Those are like the riverines, going on those river boats, things like that. And then you got like EOD, which is explosive ordnance disposal bomb. They dispose of bombs, right? Like think of it as the Navy bomb squad, right? The Navy diver, they're salvage experts. If you ever watch Men of Honor, it's basically that, right? Great movie, by the way. And then you got the air rescue swimmer, right? Those are the ones that it's in its name, right? They rescue sailors who have been accidentally fell overboard and we're going through actions, right? So there's not many rates in the Navy that is actually going out there on the front lines and seeing war. Like, it doesn't work that way. right? But on even all Navy ships, when we go do our deployments, yes, there is a danger, whether it's from the elements or from other navies, right? So we are trained to not only take care of the ship, but take care of each other. That's why we do train in force protection and security. So back to just to finish up the question. So the Navy has over 50 rates, right? And that deals from admin to mass communications on the medical side. You also got technicians dealing from aviation to the regular surface ships to submarines, right? You got and then the huge engineering jobs from a mechanic to also technician to the other jobs that you might know from construction, like steel workers, welders, machinists, things like that, right? So there's a lot of jobs, and based on what you have on the ASVAB, that will tell you, because the ASVAB is a aptitude test. It's not an intelligence test. It's an aptitude that tells you what you are adept for. So if you have strong foundations in math and science, things like that, we want to kind of push you toward the engineering side. Sometimes because of those high math skills, you could also have probably in the technician side. Emily Chong from included. Do they have a bioengineering course? Not exactly. I mean, with that, there is chances that you could be doing research with the Navy, but that's more on the officer side, right? But for the enlisted side, you're going to be taking a job, right? So that's going to train you in that particular field. So if you wanted to go bioengineering, your chances are you're going to have to. Your best bet is to either see if you can get a degree with the Navy as an officer, but not necessarily as enlisted. You're going to be trained mainly if you're really interested in biology. Cool, maybe as a corpsman, maybe. But I'm not here to sell jobs. I'm here just to understand what the benefits are. So with the Navy, you can have paid education, see the world, maybe even get a trade on your own that you never thought you'd be good at. Okay.
Yes, people, the Navy could provide a great platform to be able to launch a career in healthcare and medicine as well.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's one. If you look commercially right now, it's very hard to get into like a nursing school locally, right? But you may be able to do that in the Navy and get a head start.
Yes.
So there's a lot of occupations that actually fall in that category. Even law enforcement, I know it's a priority for us out here to take former service members who are MPs. They kind of get cut to the first of the line to doing civilian work. So if you're interested in a variety of careers, you should check out the Navy and the U.S. military, because you may be able to find and get into something like that immediately and get that training and get the benefits and be able to serve your country at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. There's just so many options that we can just discuss about. Like what I'm telling you is not like it's classified. You can find it through a Navy website, but I'm available 24/7. You can just ask me. We can discuss this and we'll just go from there. Because you never know that. The big thing I'm trying to push is just see if you're qualified. See if it's an option. Right. I understand for many students, if you already had a plan based on discussion with your family and even with friends, cool, keep it. However, a lot of them, my experience, have not even considered the Navy. And that's usually because of those misnomers. Oh, they're going to put me in war. I'm going to be far away from this. I'm never going to go to school. Actually, you can. You're not going to go to war. We're not in war right now, right? Your school's going to be taken care of, right? And even if you don't want to use your GI Bill, and so you got your degree with the TA program that I was pushing out earlier, you can actually give your GI Bill to your family, like as in your spouse or your children down the line. So nothing says you have to use it immediately.
We've got about 5 minutes left, so please, if you have questions, you can just put those in the chat or just open up your mic.
Anything else? If you want to learn about submarines, let me know.
Okay, going once. Going twice.
I
Live
got a question.
and what was that? I didn't get the whole
I
thing.
got a question.
What was that?
Good question.
That
Do you guys
chat?
still use the Seawolf class, or is that outdated?
No, we still do use the Seawolf class. That is a good question. Now, right now, the current classes that the U.S. Navy uses, the LA class, that's the 688 class, the Virginia class, the Ohio class, and then the Seawolf class SSN
Yeah,
21.
because I heard it from. Oh, I was just reading about like how the Virginia class would take over the LA class and the.
That is correct. That's correct. So the Navy is phasing out, and this is not like it's secret. I think the Navy is phasing out the LA class because it's been in service since 1977. Both of my submarines that I served on, the USS Pittsburgh and the USS Columbia, they're both 688s, and they are, well, the Pittsburgh just decommissioned, but the Columbia is fine. Yeah, those are going out by roughly 2030. So at the end of the decade. But if you haven't kept up with your news, there is going to be a new class of submarine called the Columbia class.
Which
I
is
don't know.
supposed to take over the Ohio
So
class.
so the Columbia class, that's going to be the replacement for the Ohio class, what we call the boomers. Yeah, so those are the nuclear deterrent, you know. And, you know, if you ever watch Crimson Tide, the USS Alabama, and things like that, those are called boomers. That's what they go out with our nukes and then make sure, hey, don't mess with us. We're America.
Maybe a submariner? Maybe.
What was that? Say it again.
I was just asking Travis to see if he was going to be a submariner. That's all.
Sounds interesting. I'm curious about it.
Yeah, I'd love to discuss it further. I mean, tell you what I know about my 12 years as a submariner.
Hey guys, we're going to run out of time here real soon, but the video will be posted in the near future, and of course, that's to have contact information to all the speakers, and so you can always email them with any of the questions that you might have thought about after everything is over. So, but thanks so much for joining us today. Hopefully, we'll be back on campus next year. I know, hopefully, if we are back live again and back to normal next year, I will see you on a weekly basis. Coming by the Career Center and talking to the students.
Of course. All right. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for
Take care.
coming.
Of course.
Yes, thank you. My brother served 20 years in the Navy and then retired with the Navy up in Bremerton. So,
Oh, thank you. Also, Bremerton, yeah.
My uncle was a submariner from way back in the day, well, just right at post World War II. So, I'll get the ship name to you so you can look it up. It was a really small diesel thing that he says was quite frightening back in those days.
yeah, my brother was on the SS Dixon, which was a submarine tender, and then he spent a lot of time in there. And then I forget his rank, but he climbed through the ranks. He retired pretty comfortably at a pretty good position.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the only two tenders in service are the MRS, the Frank Cable and the MRS Land. Yeah, they're both out of Guam. I'm like, wait a minute, we got to have one in the East Coast and one on the West Coast. But for some reason, I think one's relieving the other one's going back to because one's usually off the coast of Naples, the other one's in Guam. So.
All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you for your service, and I'll see you in a little bit, Mr. Soderback.
Take care, everybody.